Let's go out to Columbia, South Carolina, and talk to the great Haley. What's up, Haley?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're partying. What about you?
I almost partying. I haven't graduated yet, but I'm about to.
Excellent. What's up?
So, due to me about to graduate, taking board exams, move out and move on with my life in general, I'm finding that there are certain financial expectations or habits from my family.
Okay.
In response to me putting up certain boundaries that are not going so well.
Wait, let me back out a little bit. So you're taking boards. What are you taking boards for?
To become a clinical data analyst.
Wow, very cool. And then you're still living at home?
Yes, I did during graduate school to try to save on cost.
Excellent. And that cost you in your soul, right?
It did.
Yeah,
it really did.
So are you first gen? Are you the first one in your family to quote unquote make it, get out?
I would technically be the second.
Second, okay.
But it's not common at all.
But you're living at home, and so are you working through grad school?
I am.
Okay. So the expectation is, oh, Miss Richie Rich, you're going to pay for us and our bills and everything.
Or you have the funds to do so why not?
Oh, that makes it even worse. That makes it a...
It does.
Oh, you have
It
this,
really
so
does.
if you don't do it, you're holding out on us. You don't love us.
You don't care about what happens to us.
Oh, gosh, dude, that's one of my I have very few triggers that make me just insta angry. That's one of them. Oh, my gosh. Somebody's trying to make their life better, and the old world that they come from just throws every hook they have into their just bare flesh to hold you back. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so how can I help?
Like I said, the reallocating funds is the easy part for me. I'm still trying to deal with the emotional aftermath of saying no to things or saying that I can't do X, Y, and Z. The amount of, I know you probably hear it all the time, but the amount of guilt that weighs on me is painful in the sense I start second guessing and doubting myself. I keep trying not to get upset when I say these things.
No. It would be really strange if you were able to say these things and not get upset. Here's why. I want nothing more in the world than my son and my daughter to have a more whole, healthier life than me. And that's across a spectrum. I hope that they have a more grounded spiritual life than I did. I was such a chaotic mess. I have been. I probably still am. I hope that they don't have the same demons when it comes to the person they see in the mirror physically. I hope that financially, that money for them is an opportunity to serve and help and love and bring joy and to themselves and to their families and to their communities, and not this thing that just ravages their soul. Like, I want their lives to be better than what I've got, and I've got it pretty good. And every parent I know wants that. It's those other parents and brothers and sisters. I've got brothers and sisters and cousins, and they are rooting for me like you wouldn't believe. And you have the opposite. You have people that are connecting themselves to you so that they can drag you back, so that you can fund their desire to not work or their lack of or their whatever. And so what you're experiencing is not the way it should be. And if it shouldn't be that way, your body should try to get your attention to help make it right. And so if you're able just to be like, oh yeah, and then my mom and dad, and then my cousins, and then my sister and brother, whatever. If you're able to just rattle that off, you've detached from reality in a pretty significant way. So I want to tell you, I think your emotions are right. They feel whole to me. Okay? You're not crazy. So what is guilt? Tell me about this guilt.
This is actually a question I've thought about multiple times, and I'm just now, I guess, accepting reality of the situation. And that being not from the most affluent background and or childhood, that I felt as though I was kind of a burden. And using resources, whether it be financially, all the upkeeps that it takes to have a child in the first place. So I found that
Where did that come from? Did they tell you that?
compensated for that.
Did they tell you that? Or did you create that? Or was it kind of in the air?
It was, I how can I put this? The more involved I got into family finances from a very young age, the more aware, I guess, it became of how much I cost as far as activities I wanted to do or be a part of, or, we have to pay for her books, so we can't get X, Y, and Z. And I just...
Yeah, that is so manipulative and gross. It's gross that they did that to you. You're their kid. You're here because of something they did, not you. Right? And all kids want and desire and seek experiences and want to be with their friends and want to try things out. It's the parents' job to look at reality, finances, and to say, hey, we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to do this. Or in this house, we're not going to do that. We're going to go do this. It's never okay for a parent to say, yeah, cool, we'll let you play soccer, and I guess I just won't go, I won't do anything fun for the next 6 months because it's all about you, huh, kid? And you learn at a really young age that burdensome question you were asking, like, oh, my dad's life would be better if I wasn't here. My mom's life would be more joyful because she would have more resources if I wasn't around. And what you learn to do, I'm guessing, is squash the things that made you happy or that you wanted to go explore. Whether it was sports or instruments or friends or going to a birthday party across town or whatever the thing was. Because usually in these situations, it starts out as money, but it ends up as, I don't want to have to drive you. I've been working all day. Or you're just going to sit there on the couch while I'm off working and you're not going to do anything to contribute around here. Right?
Yes, sir.
That sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then somehow, some way, you were born of something different. You had a fire inside of you. And you said, I'm getting out of here. And this nonsense stops with me. And what they don't tell you in the Instagram posts and they don't tell you in grad school, which I wish they would, is you don't get off scot-free. It hurts. And when you pull away from those hooks that people have stuck in your back and in your skin and your legs, it rips your skin. It burns. It hurts. You bleed. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is the guilt, yeah, man. Your two parents should be rooting for you in such a they should be your number one fanatic cheerleaders. They shouldn't be vampires. And so with pulling away from that, yeah, guilt is normal. It's right. You're not crazy because you feel guilty. You're not even crazy if you go out on your own and you get stable and you cut them off for a season. As part of forming boundaries. And they've probably told you you'll never make it without them. Is that true?
Or I think to terms, it's more so of, I guess it's a generational thing too, of unspoken of, I helped to get you where you are. Therefore, it's like more so treated like a give and take transaction rather than being
like you're some kind of
genuine.
401k for them, right?
Yeah.
Gosh,
Honestly,
that
at
pisses
this
me off.
point, that's what it feels like.
Like, hey, we've been keeping numbers, and here's how much we've invested in you. So this is what you owe us at 12% return. Hey, listen, Haley, that is absolute stone mad bullcrap. It's ridiculous. And if they were your financial advisor, I would tell you to fire them because they're not telling you the truth. But this is more complex because it's mom and dad. It's family. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. You need to fire them. You need to walk away. Do you have another, and I'm not saying forever, by the way. I'm not one of those guys like, you cut ties and never come back. For whatever reason, they've created the world they've created. And I'm sure if I went back in their histories, they've had a pretty chaotic life. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah. It's not an excuse, but it gives a context, right?
Right.
Do you have a group of people that you've met like in grad school that are all Haley all the time?
I have, or I do have friends who, honestly, are the ones who tell me like this is complete and utter BS. And of course, to absolve myself of guilt, which I had to recognize, and
don't absolve it. Don't absolve it. Don't absolve it.
Soul,
don't absolve it.
Like,
head right into it. Don't run from guilt. Guilt is right. It's your body trying to reconcile all the nonsense and reality. It's your body trying to reconcile, hey, we're doing a thing we were told not to do. And what you have to do is hold that thing at arm's length and say, hey, is this true? Because some guilt is right. You know what I mean? And some, if you just went to your mom and just were super disrespectful and ugly, like, I can't believe you're terrible, Mom. Yeah, you should feel guilty because that's not cool. It's dishonoring to speak to your mom that way. But creating boundaries that keep you safe and keep you whole and allow you to go do this amazing job and to create this new life that is going to be free from poverty and free from making the kids drive the wagon instead of the adults in the world drive the wagon. Yeah, you get to set some pretty firm boundaries there. And your mom and dad can gravy train you all they want. They can 401k you, and you owe us that you don't owe them anything financial. Zero. None. Unless y'all came up with some agreement, you'll pay back grad school or something. But I have a strong suspicion that they did not pay for your grad school.
Or college, no.
Or anything. That's right. How much do you owe? Are you in the hole after this?
I was at least, before the end of college, it was COVID. So I was paused at around 80,000.
Good gosh.
For undergrad and beginning of grad.
Uh-huh.
What
do you owe now?
Been making payments during the pause and down to at least 60.
Good for you. Good for you. All right, here's the deal. I'm just going to make this a mathematical equation, okay?
Okay.
You are underwater. You have absolutely no business trying to bail somebody else's boat, get the water out of their boat because yours is sinking. Yours is underwater too.
Correct.
And this is not about guilt. This is just math. You have no business bailing somebody else out until at least you're above water. And so if you're working on practicing boundaries, I want you to start there. Hey guys, I am $80,000, $60,000 in the hole. I'm not sending any money to anybody other than Sally Mae, other than to the government to get these loans taken care of. Y'all are on your own. Do you still live at home?
Currently, yes.
When do you move out?
Applications where I've submitted single lease applications, those get taken up from January, February.
What does that mean?
That means that they reviewed my application, and once someone moves out, I'm on a wait list to basically take their place.
In a campus residence hall?
It's the equivalent of upper class living, yes.
Okay. What about an apartment? Often apartments are way cheaper because you don't have to pay for the board plan.
I've also put in applications for apartments, and
here's the deal.
On a wait list for January.
I want you out before January. I want you out before the holidays. I want you out as soon as possible. If January has to be January, cool, but I want you to really quickly, like we're recording this at the very beginning of November, I want you to, like within the week, put some very clear boundaries on the presents you will not be buying for the adults. If you want to buy something for your nieces and nephews, fine. Hey, this year, guys, I'm focused wholly on starting this new career and getting myself out of $60,000 in debt. Every extra penny I have will be going towards that. So I want everyone to know I'm not buying a bunch of presents this year. I'm not. And when you do that, I want you to just take your hand and put it on your chest, and I want you to feel that guilt because it's going to be heavy. Feel it. Breathe through it until your body lets it run. Go for a walk and ask yourself while you're walking, because I know that you're brilliant. Hey, is this guilt right? Is it my job to make sure the adults in my life have a Christmas? No, it's not. Have I worked really hard and I'm blessed to make a good salary? Yeah. And right now that salary goes to paying off the investment, the debts I took out on myself. Not making sure other people have momentary glimpse of, hooray. And by the way, their 401k investment in you is twofold. Number one, it's financial. You owe us. No, you freaking don't. Number two, it's also cultural. They are going to walk around with their chest puffed out. Look what we did for our baby. They didn't do anything. You did. In fact, you've been propping them up for a long, long time. A long time. They say that poverty is a mindset. It's not a financial number. And this is one of the ways it traps you. Because here's what's going to happen if you don't make a clean break now. What you're going to end up doing is co-signing on a car loan because one of their cars is going to bust, or you're going to co-sign on a loan to fix the air conditioner or the heater because it's going to break. You're still going to be $60,000 in the hole, and then you're going to need to come up with the money for the first and last month's whatever, and that's going to put you a little bit deeper. And you're going to end up with a job paying $100,000, and you're going to owe $125,000 instantly. And you will then self-perpetuate this same crisis. The difference is you're going to do what I did, which was I wasn't ever in poverty, but we did not have a lot growing up. We had very, very little. In fact, it's a shock to our friends and neighbors how little we had. But when I went and got my fancy degree, I spent like crazy, and I ended up digging a bigger hole than my parents could have ever dug, because they didn't have the access to that kind of money. But the more salary you make sometimes, and the higher your degree stature, the more the banks will just willy-nilly loan you. And I ended up in a bigger hole. So why did I tell you all that? Break free. Choose freedom. And I'm glad you've got some friends. I want you to reach out to them. I also want you to reach out to the College Counseling Center and say, hey, I'm getting ready to make some pretty significant changes in my life. I want to practice some of this. Will y'all walk alongside me? You don't need to go to a counseling center because you're deficient or broken or have some sort of disorder. I want you to go use the counseling resources at the school that you pay for, by the way. They're baked into your tuition and fees. I want you to go and practice some of these conversations. Practice telling your mom and dad, hey, no more money this Christmas. January, I'm out. December 15th, I'm moving out. I love you guys, but it's time for me to do it on my own. And by the way, you're not doing it on your own. You're inviting friends. You're going to bring that community super close. Weekly dinners, weekly laundry parties, weekly whatever, study parties. Your place, your place, your place. Whew. This is building something completely new. I'm proud of you, Haley. And don't discount the hurt. This will hurt along the way. And I think that hurt is right. You're making a whole new family tree. I'm proud of you.